I paused it. I forgot something. What did I forget? Bathroom doors closed. Lights are in stream mode. Paused Dropbox. Paused Backblaze. Closed that laptop. Didn't put my phone in Do Not Disturb. That's the one. That's the one I forget. I need a checklist. I do. I want two things I want. One, a checklist. Two, a bank of switches that I can just flip all the switches like I was getting ready to take off. I really want to do that. I mean, we have talked about that before, I think, how I want to make weird Soviet era control panels to control my home. But not today. That's not what we will do today. What's back there? Oh, there's a box back there. Don't look at that. Don't look at that box. Hi. Hello there. My workshop was last night and it went super well. We'll probably talk about this more as we go, but I want to, maybe I'll just thank those people if they show up. But chat was a big help on that, formulating ideas. It went super well. I talked for 3 hours solid. We watched trailers. I did not finish all the material, but the students seemed to really enjoy it, seemed to be engaged, lots of good conversation. Call it a success. Got a new one coming up in about a month, I think, about almost exactly a month. 1 month from today-ish. About interactive live streaming, which is what we're going to talk about today. So first, we need to set the mood a little bit. Unsplash. I don't know how I feel about you anymore. Unsplash. I did change some settings on Unsplash. Or Splash, which is our Unsplash client. I feel like every time we would get like amazing wallpaper. Every click when I initially set it to filter to nature. And then they just kind of got worse and worse. So now I filter to landscape. Well, actually, I kind of like these. This one's pretty good. Okay, I'm into it. I think we've improved. So we've been working on a Twitch extension. The scope and functionality of that Twitch extension has been becoming more and more clear as we progress. We had some great tests yesterday. And I've been thinking about, one, we got to come up with a schedule sort of, because this contest is over in 2.5 weeks, something like that, over very soon. So we got to figure out a schedule. We have to figure out some set of priorities to try to target for. I'm aiming for we need a block of time, maybe 2 days of stream, 3 days of stream to get this all set up on AWS, which is just going to be a pain in the butt. But ignoring that part, as far as the fun, interesting part, what we actually want to do, the back end is pretty much where I want it to be. And I've been thinking more about this. I think clicks are all we want. I'm going to simplify and streamline that a little bit today, but I don't think I want to send other metadata for now. I want to keep it super simple. Also, I was thinking of a kind of, I'll try to explain this soon, a grid-based input system that would be we have this normalized value, and right now we're using that normalized value with all the pixels on the screen. We don't need to do that. We could have an arbitrary grid where different grids could have totally different behaviors, like a soundboard, for example. They could be localized to the video around. So one of the things I do actually want to try to prototype today is that to make it, if you click where the light is shining back here, if you click that, it will change that light color, which, if we divided this into fourths, that would be something like the second row in the first column. So we'll try kind of a row column based thing that I think will be cool, I think. And then one thing that really occurred to me, so we were talking a lot, I think, yesterday about how we could do weird video effects. And I was struggling with that a little bit, but now I think I know. And I think the secret is we just take the video out of OBS and we do everything in the browser with WebRTC to render the web video in the browser, and then do all our weird stuff in JavaScript with shaders, which Pixi.JS also lets you do arbitrary shaders. I thought we might have to go to 3JS for that, but it looks like Pixi.JS will allow it. Let's see. What else do we need to... Do we need to know anything else? Anything else? Anyone? I always forget to turn the bot on. Should I start doing that? Is that a thing that's important? I also need to turn on, I guess I need to turn on Discord. All right. At least this way I can get my pep talk. When no one's here to give me a pep talk, I'm doing great. Thanks, Moobot. Thanks. There's lots of like peripheral sort of channel-ish things that I want to do. But I'm going to very soon start getting busy when people start giving me money to do things, which means I can't do weird things as often. So we gotta like, we gotta get while the getting's good. We gotta make this stuff happen while we have the opportunity. Let's see, we got our new fancy version of Visual Studio Code. I don't like Discord. I kind of don't want you to appear there. Will you still appear here? I don't mind getting, okay. I know I gotta set up a Discord for the channel. Right now there's a Discord with only me. It's the most exclusive party. Okay, get the developer rig and all that stuff going, and let's switch over here, which if this is working, I should just be able to go in and click and start getting blobs. Yes, we are indeed still getting blobs. This is all going through Heroku. This is the smaller blob that Draclin demanded. I kind of want to go back to the bigger blob. I'm not crazy about the tiny blob. So what do we want to do? Well, let's first just like some super minor housekeeping. Tidying up, one might say. I was using a Visual Studio Color theme that I kind of liked but wasn't super crazy about, and then they wanted me to pay money for it, and I was like, man, I like paying people money. You know, I like paying people for their work when I enjoy and use that work, but Visual Studio theme for money seemed I don't know, maybe a little unreasonable. Okay, what do we got? Maybe that's totally reasonable. Maybe I would do it at some point. I'd have to really like that theme, I think. I have one problem. What's my one problem? Unknown word pub sub. Okay, that's not, I wouldn't exactly call that a problem, but thanks. Thanks anyway. So we want to make a couple changes to the video front end. And I was thinking like the packets that we send, we're sending it all through the URL, right? We just make this click. We formulate this click. And then, man, this sucks. I gotta figure out, how do we do this? Should this always just be the host that is running it? I think maybe so, because I wonder when it gets hosted internally inside. Nah, probably once it gets hosted inside Twitch World, that's going to not be true at all. So what just sucks is this is a variable that is, I mean, like you have to tell it where some of the stuff lives in the Twitch console. There just doesn't seem to be a way to get it. I mean, the Twitch admin console, developer backend, one might call it. So, excuse me. The roofers are momentarily silent. They launched a new attack of noisiness today, but at least it wasn't power tool based. So I apologize if it gets noisy again. So here's our deal. We're sending these clicks. We're already normalizing the clicks here. But one thing I don't like about it is that we get an arbitrary. Okay, I kind of don't like it being. It's silly to send numbers as like strings, right? Because it's way more efficient to send numbers as bytes. Like to send a 3-digit number. Well, depending on how big what those 3 digits are. Sending a 2-digit number, for example, as 2 numbers is kind of silly because you know you can fit up to 255 unsigned in a single byte, or 128 signed. And so I'm going to end up sending, I think I need to go to thousandths. And so that's going to be, I'll probably have a leading 0. So that's 5 5 digits. Not very efficient, but again, we are only sending this to one person, so maybe it's fine. I don't want to over-optimize at this point. That's something we could change later because it is all part of the back end. But for now, we will just send a float value to 3 decimal places. I gotta remember how to do that. Is there a real way to do that, or do you have to do it in a goofy way? No, that's not the way I want to do it. 2 fixed. That's what we want. Why is there not an easy way to do this? Maybe there's in jQuery. I don't know that jQuery has much mathy stuff in it, though, does it? Maybe like underscore might. It wouldn't be the end of the world adding additional zeros there. To precision. Well, that's okay, right? Because it will always be less than 1. Okay. Is that really what we want? That's interesting that in that case it doesn't use the leading. So if I just always did this to, did a 2 precision 3 on this, then that might do what I need. So that's gonna result in like a little bit of lost fidelity, but not a lot. So basically we're saying like, okay, we're only going to go up to thousandths. So if there's 1,000 pixels and we click, we can still be pretty accurate within it. But once there's more than 1,000, which there are, in the case of this video, it's closer to 2,000 if you're viewing it in HD. HD resolution, I mean, 1920 1080. Then you lose some info there, but I don't think that's critical. Like I don't need to be pixel perfect with this, and a slightly smaller payload sounds better to me, right? I don't know if I wonder if there's a better way to do this thing. You have to parse int here. Oh, that's handy. Just cast one of the 2 operands to a place. Okay, so I don't need to parse float. I can just. Is that true? Am I in the right language? This isn't. That's not JavaScript at all. I said JavaScript. I don't think you could cast like that in JavaScript. Come on, I clearly said JavaScript. I think you have to do a parse float, right? Do a 2 fixed. I guess I can call 2 fixed at the end. Maybe that's slightly less weird than the syntax we have. What if you don't give a parameter to 2 fixed? Wait, that's a string. Wait, right. Why did, huh? What? Or multiply this. Yeah, okay. That'd be one way, I guess. It's so annoying. Well, that's JavaScript, I guess. Obnoxious. Oh my gosh, Draclin. 7 months. As the, not only, you're, I don't say this because you're my only subscriber. I say it because you're my favorite subscriber. You're my favorite subscriber. You're the #1, longest streak. I kind of want to make you, if I make you a moderator, will that give you even another icon? I just want you to have like badges across your chest, like a general. I was trying to find a less stupid way to do floating point division, but this dumb way seems to be the way to do it. Oh, that is fair. No, maybe, okay. I don't want to enforce a role on you. I probably at some point I will need a moderator. I really just wanted to give you an icon. Like, this is really just about, how else can I give you additional badges? Can I give you custom ones, or do I have to be a famous person first? I think you told me and I forgot. Okay, we got to get out of this JavaScript 101 stuff and do a 2 precision. What did I say? 3? That's weird. You can go up to 21. Okay, so this is just because since we're cramming that directly into the URL, I just want it to not get out of control. Like, sometimes we end up with 14 decimal places or whatever. That's fair. I appreciate you. I appreciate your concern in that realm. I'm not horribly worried about. Okay, I didn't do this right at all. Oh, probably because I didn't push this button. Okay, but then how do I give you more? I want you to have more badges. How do I give those to you? Can I have them? Is that like only a partner thing? I think you told me this before. Okay, now we will only, we're wasting 5 bytes to send a number that's like, should only take 9 bits. But hey, here we are. Oh, money stuff. My own Twitch notifications. What do you mean by my own Twitch notifications? Do I need to do something fancier? Oh, like builds like some overlays for that? No, I should. Maybe I should just switch to slobs. Is that how people do that? Because it kind of has that stuff built in, right? I would be interested someday in building that stuff out, but it does seem courteous to add. You don't feel like you've achieved something just from clicking on my face and make it say Scott made this all over the screen? I do. I actually like that. I think that is good to add. The generic default wobbly text. Yeah, we need to make a. That's true. I need some kind of overlay that's just my ridiculous overlay. That's fair. I mean, I think maybe one day when we wrap up some of these projects, I would like to do, or maybe we'll do this on some easy streams when I'm stressed out by the work projects I'm about to start. We just do some goofy things like overlays and waiting screens and things like that. The question that I had a minute ago was just why the easy way, if I have two integers and I want a floating point result in JavaScript without having to do parse float around it, and there was not a great answer other than some people said just multiply times 1.0. A green screen? Yeah. I don't have a very big apartment. Well, maybe. I might have to have a green screen. It's fair. Oh, okay. Here's the thing I decided. I may have said this before you hopped on, that we were talking about like the reactive video stuff yesterday and how to pull it off, and how I think Life is Yours was making some suggestions in that realm, and how that just isn't very easy in OBS with this as a separate source, because sources don't really interact well in OBS. But now I have an idea. Yeah, there are some there. You can buy those discs. I've seen them. They're super ridiculous, but I'm not entirely opposed to that. I kind of like, I sort of in general maybe like prefer the idea of a physical set if I was going to build something out, just because I like to build physical things, but I can certainly see the value of a green screen. Maybe if I make a set, it'll have a pull down green screen. Okay, so now we are only wasting 5 bytes instead of however many other bytes we were wasting before. So that's slightly less offensive. So that was a minor thing. So here's my idea. My idea is this. Right now, we have this one-to-one relationship to there's a click and there's a response at a given location. It just happens immediately, right? Like you click and there's a dot. What I want to do is kind of as my own SDK is say, as clicks come in, let's distribute them on a grid of an arbitrary size, which may still be 1 pixel to 1 pixel. That's still fine. And then let's give behaviors to the cells of those grids, which could be a behavior that lives at the full macro level, like, hey, you click anywhere, something happens, or that only happens if you click a row, or only happens if you click a column, or only happens if you click a specific cell, which I think is going to be really flexible for making weird things happen, because then we can respond to clicks anywhere on the screen in sort of granular ways. The second layer of that is we want to say that if we want to have like a voting sort of thing, or like a democratized set, then we could have behaviors that put a certain threshold and said, okay, attach a behavior to row 2, column 3, and check that, check all the columns for clicks, X number of clicks in a certain time window. Say like, oh, if 50 people click this one place in 1 second, then a thing will happen. And so that as a foundation, I think will let us build all kinds of cool stuff. What's going on over here? Rough model, something in SketchUp, export it to Blender, UV unwrap and texture it, import it to Unity. Yeah. UVs are kind of a pain in the butt. I feel like we've gotten to the point kind of now where the UV tools are pretty amazing. I've heard fairly good things about Blender's UV tools. It's been a while since I've felt the need to like, I mean, that's because I don't build complicated models much, certainly not anymore. I mean, I would kind of hope that there's just an auto unwrap in Blender. Like that's one of the things I like about Substance. That's another reason I'm not very focused on beautiful UVs now, because I just do the auto UVs and then Substance kind of doesn't care. Okay, you've got it unwrapped and exported. So if you have exported and you've edited the texture that you've exported, then that's going to come back later, kind of. You know, the UVs are part of the mesh itself, but the reapplication of that texture is part of the shading. So it really doesn't come back until you go into Unity and drop a material on and drop a texture in the material. Although, I mean, of course, you could do that in Blender too, right? Okay, what were we thinking? The first thing I think is on our front end, I just need to add the ability to fake clicks, just so I don't always have to go through the round trip thing just in the middle when I'm in the middle of testing. So one of the things we want to do is call draw click just on local clicks also. What is the easiest way to do that? I think we just want to like a document level. Gosh, what's the jQuery way to do this? Not that. You. I should make this where it opens the window. That would be handy, right? How did I get back into this doing web development? How did this happen to me? I tried so hard to move away and kind of forgotten everything. Okay, we are not even using jQuery. Oops, CDN.js is what I meant. Isn't there the trick where I can just like make it give me the... Yeah. Probably want a tiny thing, right? jQuery Slim, what does that do? I don't even know these new variants of jQuery. Let's just copy the script tag. Let's just cram it in here. Okay, we've got clicks. So all we want to do is... This is going to be pretty redundant because we're going to need to like normalize. Let's just steal this code because this is basically what we want to do. Okay. We want to add some local development clicking. These will not go out into the world. We won't bother to do that. We could, I guess, if we wanted to, make this where you could also engage. It would be a pain for the following reason, is the JWT stuff, which I think is smart to have in place, so it's a little harder for people to abuse, but I don't want to have to implement that here. I don't really want any outgoing traffic from this world. Yep. Draw, click. We're doing great. Okay, what did I do wrong? Is this not how you get the window width in jQuery? The client X divided by the window, the width of the HTML document. Is that better? Is that actually more appropriate? Precision 3, and we want to draw click there. That sort of looks like a thing that should work. There, it works. Okay. Cool. What do all these buttons do? There's all these weird buttons in this robot. I don't know what these robots do. I'm going to ignore the robot for now. Ignoring the robot. Okay, so now we can click here. Just have those locally. Are those click? Did I do those clicks? Where those other clicks come from? Accept. Clear. Okay, that got rid of those. These clicks should not be going through anywhere. Yeah, these are just local. So that's good. So we can have local testing. So the idea, I don't know, I'm not quite sure how I want to build this because it's going to take some doing. Like we may break it into a little library that we can use both in Node and remotely. Let's do the dead simplest version first, which is going to be so let's just also have a handle click and not even touch the drawing stuff for now, and then maybe we will incorporate the drawing into the handling. So here's what I'm thinking, I think. For now, this will just pass through. I think this is a good idea. It might be a bad idea. Oops. The reason I think it could be cool is because it can be headless also. Like we can start doing weird stuff where I have like a Raspberry Pi running, digesting the same data that doesn't really need to know anything about the visual world. Okay, so this works. So what we're gonna say is this. I want to start to think of this as a grid that we will break up, and we'll define the resolution of that grid, and so on and so on and so on. So we'll have something like cell X is equal to, let's see. No, I'm not supposed to be, I forgot. We're trying to move away from var. Oh, there's an old dog trying to learn new tricks. So we want like a const grid X, let's say 5, const grid Y equals 5. And then basically we want to come up with a cell value for each click, not just a pixel value. So, whoa, those are all the wrong buttons. So cell X, these are normalized. So we can multiply these and then do a math floor on them, I think. Click X, I mean. So we'll do a very simple version to start with. And then we'll similarly build a very simple Node.js client. Because I want to do the lamp thing. I think it's just funny. I want to make the lamp work. Maybe people will come click my lamp. Seems unlikely, but okay. So is that right? So this is a 5x5 grid. Visualizing this will be a little annoying, but we can kind of make assumptions about what this is. Wrong. I forgot to log. I feel like I've been a little bit brain cloudy lately. Okay. 4 by 0. So yeah, 0, 0, 0, 4. So starting here, 0, 1. So this is a little weird, but I think it's okay. So like normally in sort of spreadsheet world, no, you would think of, you'd be row dominant, but that's Y. So you think of things in terms of Y, X coordinates, but I think I'm going to think of things in X, Y coordinates because I feel like that makes a little more sense. And then the question is kind of how do we store these behaviors? I was thinking, so obvious answer would just be kind of an array, but can a JavaScript map, does that require unique keys? I think it does. I could imagine some sort of fancy syntax. The annoying thing about the arrays, could you just talk about arbitrary indices of the array without setting anything up to it? Like if I make an empty array and then set the fifth, I think I can. So something like is that valid? Can I just start talking about an array that doesn't exist? How do I eventually get these WebGL issues? Almost seems like Pixi is not properly destroying WebGL contexts. Okie dokie. So then can I say like it's not undefined? Is it just going to be not equal to undefined? Draclin, got it. I want to see. So I said that 2 by 2 we will come up with a better data structure for this. This array is just a test. It's not seaworthy. Okay, that's fair. Can I like oops. I don't really think I could get away with that, but I kind of thought that I could get away with it. Hey, it's a beautiful clean Xbox. What is it? What am I looking at here? Look at that beautiful geometry. Very interesting geometry. The way it's triangulated. But can I just initialize a multidimensional array? Without values, or like just declare one? I mean, can I do something like this? Is that valid? Oh, that's... Oh, you suck. No. Make everything triangles. Triangles are awesome. You definitely want triangles, but and they did it in a very optimal way, right? Like when you look at the like some 3D packages. That was not what I meant to look at. How did I get here? I clicked on the link that the robot told me. Like the way this is triangulated is pretty optimal, because if you were just making this, you might expect there to be edges here and here and here and here, and then triangles in. So this is a good, like, this is an optimal way to show something like this. Yeah, you saw the secret to that playlist. Okay, you can't just get away with this. That's kind of lame. I was hoping you could. I don't want to have to go through and initialize it. I want to just make it up. I guess when I declare the grid size, I could go through. I'd have to like go through. Yeah, whatever. That's sort of annoying. So the first thing you'd have to do is go through and initialize this. And you'd have to say like. Right? I mean, I think you have to do this. Sort of explicitly. I may need one more layer in there. Can I just set things to undefined? Do I need to do this first? Like if it's empty? This is boring. This is not very exciting. I don't want to delete it. Like, I want it to exist. Maybe I really only need to go through and make each x equal to an empty array. Is that all that really needs to happen? And then y doesn't actually matter. Just so each thing inside there is an array. I seem to kind of believe that. Not very well. Wait, okay, so I'm clicking 2-2. Isn't 2-2 what we wanted? That's not what we want to do. Let's just say it's not equal to undefined. Does that work? Okay, great. That was annoying. So now we can say, so that looks like it's probably the 0th cell. Looks like that's where my light is. So this would be the logic to say like, hey, you made something happen on the light. And clicking anywhere else would do nothing. Like, imagining the grid is a little annoying. Defining arbitrary bounds would be kind of cool, that you could just sort of draw and then give a behavior, but we're not gonna get there today. Okay, so this functionality basically does what we want. So let's just, how could we easily visualize it? I could just throw a grid up on the screen, like some arbitrary grid maker. What do we think here? Oops, I forgot. I'm not on Mac. I was losing it because of the roofers. Yet again. They have quieted for the moment. Maybe they're taking a nice long lunch. You go for it, roofers. You deserve it. Why is the inside of the guitar so shiny? I guess the light is just perfectly hitting the very official Martin Dreadnought sticker inside. That is not white, it's black. That's pretty weird. The light is just perfectly hitting it. I'm trying to cast a shadow on it. I can't. My little diffuser things are working too well. It's the sticker. It's the Martin seal of authenticity. Shadow success. I did it. I really pulled it off this time. Ooh, that's a good picture that I just took of myself. Great. That's excellent. I've never looked better. Wow. Very good. Very handsome. I've never looked better. Is there even a grid tool in Photoshop? Should I have gone into Illustrator instead? I can't remember. I think you can set up get grid guides. Pattern fill. Oh, forget it. Good grief. Adobe, what if your software was in any way consistent? Of course you can only draw grids in Illustrator. Why would you think that you could do that in Photoshop? What was I thinking? Absurd. Absurd thoughts. I keep getting paranoid that I'm gonna have some kind of secret workup. Clear recent files. You can't do that. Photoshop in its recent documents has a clear. Illustrator does not. It's like they're made by totally different companies that where no one has ever spoken before. What a dumb, annoying thing. Okay, there's certainly a faster, better way to do this, but hey, we're on our way already. So, where does the grid tool live now? Photoshop? I mean Illustrator? We'll never find it. I think it's under line, actually. Rectangular grid tool. So if we wanted to, that's actually not too bad. If we wanted to say you have to click that area above the chair, then a 4x6 grid, really a 6x4 grid, is probably what we want. Okay, cool. Actually, it was not so bad once I realized the proper tool. What did I just say? 6x4? And it was the second. Wait, where do I want to be? I want to be second row, 0th column, right? Oh man, shoot. No, XY. Yeah, X. I want to be X0, Y1. This is going to mess me up. Life is yours. What are you talking about started early? It just started. Why aren't you getting notifications? I think if someone doesn't stream for a while, like the notifications they might not pop up. Maybe that's only YouTube that does that. Make sure my notifications are notifying you. Double notifications. Okay, so now we can click in here. Life is yours. I'm trying to make it so you can change the color of my light. It's happened to other streamers. It sounds like a you problem. Okay, so this code seems okay. Let's just make a what? Do I even need to run this locally? We're not even doing anything with that at the moment. We can route through the server. What do we want to do here? I think we want to make a new thing, and this will just be Client.js. And this thing's whole job is to, it only needs a few things. It really just needs to be a Socket.io client. Oh man, life is yours. You're trying to hurt my feelings. How many viewers the streamer has? How dare you? I can't help it. that no one watches me except for the two of you. I probably can't help it. There's probably things I could do, but here we are. Okay, I think we have all the stuff we need for this. Or should I just start a new project? Let's see. This really should be like a separate thing, really. Shoot. Socket.io client. Because that's probably not. That's annoying. Because I think that's included as part of the server when you're using it. No, it's in here. What if I get away with this? Let's just try it. Ooh. Did I not just save that? Did I save it in the wrong place? I did. That shouldn't be in there. Can I move it out like this? Wow, I didn't know you could do that in Visual Studio Code. Look at me go. Okay. What's wrong now? We don't need this. So this is what's weird, right? Because this is actually going to be and event. What did we call it? We called it a click. So we need to do a couple things really. On connect, we need to, gosh, what did we do? I think we have to join the room. Okay, what did we say? We said that when it first happens, you join the channel. So yeah, in the on connect, we join the channel and we just need the channel ID. And the channel ID is this. Okay, if that worked, then I should be able to click. Ooh, whoa, whoa, incredibly broken. Data. Whatever, do this. This is better. Okay, so now I should be able to click on Twitch and get the raw data here. Okay, that's handy, right? Ooh, that's cool. A handy Discord bot. I really thought there was, I may be thinking of YouTube though, where like subscriptions can sort of expire if you don't watch for a while. I don't know if Twitch does that or not. Okay, so now we have a Node.js client. Like, so this can run on anything. So we could put this on a Raspberry Pi and it's gonna do the exact same thing. Like, we're just gonna do, basically the exact same code. In fact, I think it will be the exact same code. We'll just do a handle click and we will do our handle click and we will just do this stuff. I need more stuff than that. Let's take this whole thing. We don't need this thing anymore. Oops. Why doesn't that work? Because it's, oh yeah, shoot. We'd have to add it to the, we do npm run client, I guess. Add this here. That doesn't feel super great, but let's just do it. Okay, now we can edit this. Okay, we crashed already. What happened? Address is already in use. Wait, what did I mean? What did I do? Oh yeah, client. Good grief. Okay, we now have that. Yes. What is this? That can be problems with your normals, although that looks like more than just normals, unless it's something with the image compression. Like, there's weird noise in here. At a glance, I thought it was normals, but that looks weird, or almost like intersecting geometry or something. Oh, is that your texture? That's your texture, I see. Yeah. Life is yours, right? I think it's the normals. So I don't know if you can. There's probably a way to visualize normals in Blender, but normals are just for. It depends on if the mesh is manifold or not. But each individual vertex will have some normal that it, when doing lighting calculations, that gives directionality to the face. Face normals exist too, but they're probably on the vertices, I think. Can you visualize the normals? It might make more sense. I guess it could also be a problem with your UVs. The fact that it's blue makes it seem like it's the right material. Maybe while you were modeling, you accidentally like stacked some geometry, like extruded over itself or something like that. That might be a guess also. Okay, so we are to the point that that I can make things crash. What did I do? Click data. Man, we're doing great here, huh? That's annoying, isn't it? These normals look relatively sane. Your face normals look like what I would expect. These normals make sense for hard edges. To have hard edges like this is a little bit of a waste of vertices. I don't know why there's normals pointing in here though. I would expect them to be going out, but why would there be some that are pointing inward? Maybe grab some vertices individually and drag them around a little bit and see if you can tell if you accidentally have like some overlapping normals. You maybe don't have back faces on because I can see some geometry inside of here. I'm sorry, maybe you do have back faces on. Yeah, it looks two-sided because when I look in here, I see what I would assume to be back faces. You could try to turn on back face culling. Well, if it exported as two-sided, that might be weird because it might have actually like fully duplicated the geometry. It's a little hard to say. You might. This almost makes me feel like there's extra geometry going on. Like maybe when you, I don't know about Blender's export of two-sided, but it might have duplicated every face and flipped the normals on that face, which you normally wouldn't want to do. Like if you really wanted to draw the inside, you might handle it in a different way. I would suggest. Okay, so Node will not let me get away with that, the same undefined array element thing that the browsers did let me get away with. That's annoying. I don't want to check both elements. That's annoying. Like, have to check. It's been doubled, like truly double geometry. Then maybe you're having some intersecting faces then with the doubleness. And then the dark ones are maybe you actually seeing the inside faces. Would be kind of my guess. Cool. Man. Are you charging US dollars, Life is Yours? Maybe here's what we do. Maybe we do go through each of these and we always make sure we make an array and then we do go through here and we do the y's and make all those equal to null. And then we go maybe this is a more robust way to do this. Oops. Really? Come on. We went through each. Why would that be? A thousand Noke. How do you pronounce that? Is that for some kind of kroner or something? Krone? A Norwegian krone? An eighth of a dollar? In okay? No kroner. Like a cronut. That's fine. We can charge in that. In okay. So really? I'm tired of getting hung up on these dumb JavaScript problems. After I guess I used to just sort of take them for what they were because I wrote JavaScript all the time. Didn't worry about it very much. But now, what's your problem? Why would that not be correct? So we have cell functions. We initialized the crap out of it, didn't we? Is null not value? Like, make it an empty string or something? Is that the problem? Stop trying to autocomplete for me. Thanks. No. Do we really have to check? This doesn't sound right. What am I missing here? So we declare this array. We iterate through all the x values and make sure they are an array. And then we go through all the y's and just set it equal to null. So they should exist. They should just be equal to null. Does null work like that in JavaScript? Not a number, not a number. Can I not check to see if something's nan? I mean, what if I make it a number? Just out of curiosity. Oh, no, that's not what's wrong. That's not the problem. This was all okay. This was probably all right from the start. I was fixing the wrong thing. Cool. That's is nan. Yeah, but I'm checking the wrong thing. Okay, hold on. Our problem is deeper, or earlier at least. I think our something went wrong here, I think. Why would this be so bad? Do we need to... Okay, we probably just need to parse float this. That's probably all, right? Were those in there as strings? I already forgot what happened. They did. They came through as strings. That's weird. Why did the browser let us get away from that? With that. Also, why are we doing that anyway? That seems like a bad idea. Should leave those as integers or floats. Okay, that was a silly problem. Oh, it's even dumber. It's even dumber. Good grief. Okay. I'm just skipping over essential steps in the process. I thought we cut and pasted that, so I wasn't paying attention. But this very problem, we want this to happen. Good grief. What's wrong with my brain this week? I feel like my brain is just not quite happening. I didn't parse the JSON. Because why would I? Okay. What's broken now? The wrong trousers, I know. The command prompt I'm looking at? Oh, it's behind my face, sorry. It's just the terminal stuck in it's the whatever, the Visual Studio thing. The talk went great. It went super well. Thank you chat participants for helping me. I had been worried about not having enough material, but actually I ran out of time. I didn't even quite get through everything. I got through most of the stuff I wanted to, but there were a few points in the document. My strategy of not making slides and just using some CSS to make Markdown kind of look like slides totally worked. We watched so much YouTube. It was great. It went really well. Definitely gave me more confidence for like weird abstract theory workshops. That was my first time to do that. My next workshop is in a month, and it's about interactive live streaming. So we got to get all this stuff to work so I can talk about it in the workshop. Okay, this is good. This means we now, I forgot for a moment we were on Windows. Now we can click in a certain spot and get data. So if I go here and I click on the video, we turn on heat, and I click on the light. Yes, if I click on the magenta area of my wall, it triggers properly. So we are very close to being able to change the light color by clicking the stream with heat. This thing, so I've done this a couple ways in the past. The easiest way is Some Casa node module I saw. Please nobody hack my smart home and scare me by making the lights blood red. Alexa, make the lights blood red. She doesn't know how to do it. Alexa, make the light red. She's the worst. Alexa, make the light lime green. Okay, Alexa's worthless. I got it. I got a an Echo Dot for $1, so I feel obligated to use it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if like the trade-off of a robot that doesn't listen very well is worth the privacy concerns. So, is it a challenge? You can, sure. Make the light red rum. I was watching a video of someone doing like an Amazon. Let's see, what was he using? He was demonstrating a way to use Alexa for like this AI project that he was working on, and it triggered my Alexa, and he was like talking to this. I think he was talking to a sentient ape. Okay, let's see. Okay, we're very close. I need this. I don't actually know if this is going to work on Windows. I think it will. Is this the one I've used? I think it's weird because I think you have to actually like send it a power message to change the hue. Yeah, power, and then you send it on or off, and then you can pass options like the hue. Why is there not an example of that? I guess we can just look at the. Okay, so let's get this thing. Whoa, that's scary. That's kind of scary. Alexa doxed her? I gotta not say that name. It's like Beetlejuice. Okay. Did she have to move? Okay, so we want what do we want? And save. We want this TP-Link Casa thing. I really don't actually want this in this project. I really should make this client demo totally separate, but because this is going to do goofy stuff. That means this is going to go into. I'll do it anyway. We'll clean it up later. Really, this whole client should be a totally separate thing. Man, that's scary. Not cool. So now everyone's gonna go door to door in Canada looking for her. Can I actually use this? Why don't you autocomplete? Worthless. Worthless. Is it something useful in here? Okay, I'm gonna scan my home, so this is gonna be great. Just in case, I'm gonna switch here. I don't know. I guess it depends on where you are in Canada. I think there's regions of Canada where there's a lot of people, and regions of Canada where there are basically no people. Okay, look, it's all the IP addresses to all of my smart devices. But they're private addresses anyway. Okay, so yeah, it's only local. Through the miracle of network address translation, if I was ballin', maybe I'd have public IPs for my light bulb. Then anybody could mess with my light bulb all day. Okay, let's see. So we have that IP. The way to do this that's the power state. Okay, so we need to do something like this. I need to include the, does this work? I probably need to require something, right? Hello, it's me. Require this thing. This thing. So we get the light, they have the IP address. The hue. This thing, we need to send something like this. And that's where we'll send the hue. That should change the color temperature. That's how you do hue, saturation, color. So we want something like this. That's pretty weird that it... Okay. I don't really care about the promise. We'll just stick with the... Okay, so let's do... What if that's 0 to 360 or 0 to 1? What do we guess? What's our guess here? Nobody knows. Nobody? Anybody? Shade of purple. So that kind of looks like it's 360, 255, 255 sort of. If that's HSV. Well, let's just make it up. So this should be red. Oh, this is okay. We can just do. Wait. Good grief. Okay, math random. That's just a 0 to 1 value, right? But a random int. Oh yeah, this is dumb. I'm gonna guess 360. Okay, sure. Transition, I think was it a duration? We don't really need a duration, right? Is that what that is? Transition in this time. Yeah, so let's just say 0 for now. So we have hue, saturation, brightness, not value. Invalid argument. Maybe it's also 255. Oh no, because then those numbers would have worked. Okay, what have we done wrong? Maybe this can't be 0. Maybe I have to provide other options. Mode. That's a hex color. Hue, saturation, brightness. So this just wants color temp 0 and then hue, saturation, and brightness. So maybe we have to have a color temp. Wait, what's your problem? What? Oh yeah, that. Okay. How about now? What's wrong with my arguments? I mean, that way, their example. What if you don't specify those? Maybe they're 0 to 100? Let's just try their example first. Could be 0 to 100. Would be slightly weird, but ooh, it works. It's pretty fast. Draclin, or life is yours. Are you around? Do you want to try to change my light color? Let's see. Can I change it from here? I didn't actually try it from. That's pretty cool. I also still have the dot layer there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's you? Okay, for a second I thought that I messed it up and that I was like stuck. Who's doing that? Which of you is doing that? Thanks for the rave. Let me turn off these other lights. We'll have a proper rave. I gotta find the right buttons in this program. Wow, that's a lot of clicks. Turn off this light. Turn off that light. Nice. Let's turn off the browser layer. Okay. That's pretty cool, right? That seems to work pretty well. That would be really... So now we're set up where... Are you clicking as fast as you can? Or like Draklin, are you sending JavaScript? So the thing about the setup that's cool now is that since it's grid-based, you can just set up like arbitrary video regions and make things happen when people click on certain spots of the screen, which I think that's pretty cool. It would be kind of nice to be able to visualize it and set the regions up visually, but that is a little annoying because that would require some like hybrid front end back end thing, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It would just be slightly annoying. I think 2 socket connections, I guess, would be one way to do it. Okay, well that was a good achievement. Thank you for clicking and throwing a rave in my room. I had an idea, Life is Yours. I was talking about it. I'm not sure if you were around when I said it. Was okay. I need to add the democracy filter and threshold filter where things will only happen after a certain amount of time and after a certain number of clicks. Like maybe that only changes once every second or something like that. The idea was this, for being able to do like real-time weird video manipulation, like actually messing with the pixels of the video, that would be a total hassle to do in OBS. But I realized we can probably use WebRTC, pull the webcam into the browser, connect to the webcam through the browser, and then feed that texture to whatever WebGL tools we want to use, and then just write weird shaders that can respond to clicks, which I think would be cool. You could do like weird liquid shaders where when people clicked, it would do liquid effects on the video, stuff like that. I think it could be cool. It shouldn't be that complicated. The only part that's probably going to be annoying about it is I'm kind of doubting that WebRTC is going to work inside OBS. Like, so in other words, the browser layers in OBS, I'm kind of guessing won't be able to show the video, but we could just open a full screen browser with the webcam on the other monitor and then capture that. And I think it would be fine. And it should not be too complicated. The thing I'm imagining is our weird clicky thing is already almost a good displacement mat. We could just make it render in black and white and then use that as a displacement map on the video. And then all of the like pulsing our little pulsing fireworks guys, where are they? All those little it refreshed. All those little pulsing things would act as like video displacement blobs, which should not be hard to do. We would just have to figure out, the steps would be as follows, I think, is figure out how to render some kind of off-screen buffer with Pixi.JS and draw the blobs to that. Figure out how to draw video with Pixi.JS, and then figure out a shader that would take both the video texture and the blob texture and then displace it. So it should not be too hard. And I think that would be a good demo when we actually make our contest entry stuff. Okay, I'm pretty into this. I think this was a good thing to accomplish today. What did we do? An hour and a half? And like a good solid 30 minutes of that was just me fighting with stupid JavaScript. I used to love JavaScript. I used to write everything in JavaScript. I was so into the idea of having like the same language for front end and back end, but now I've been so C# focused with Unity that I just forgot how to do some JavaScripty things, I guess. Alexa, turn on stream. She did it. Good job, Alexa. I need to put up like, what would be weird things I could put around my room that people could almost have like a shooting gallery. Like I could build weird little robots that you could click the robots and they would do stuff. That would be kind of cool. Almost like a point and click adventure game. I could make it where when you click the guitar, it plays a sound. That's probably a bad idea, right? I shouldn't do that before I add in the thresholding, because then Life is Yours is going to click it 12,000 times and it's going to sound like a nightmare. True or false? I kind of want to do it as a test. It shouldn't be that hard. So oh shoot, I already closed Illustrator. Let's do it. Let's make the guitar clickable, right? It'll be like my room is haunted and you are the ghosts. Okay, so we need another, this is an annoying way to have to do this. Why can't I clear this list? Why? Why can't I make this go away? I don't want to see this ever. I don't like this. I don't like seeing it. I guess it's like, I don't want this, Illustrator. And you can't clear recent files? Why? Why are you like this? You don't see it? You shouldn't see it. I mean, actually, there's nothing secret in it, but just in principle. Okay, yeah, let me switch here. I am just doing the thing where I get my face, and I just need to figure out grid-wise with our 4x6 grid. I should make a tool for this. But for now, what did we do? We did 4x6, right? So I need to basically say, really it would be 2 cells. I didn't think of that. Like, how are you going to set to? I know, no. Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely forget what scene I'm in sometimes. This is a tricky one because I haven't really accounted for the idea of having 2 cells. What I need to come up with is just some kind of notation. You're loving that light clicking thing. To be able to define 2 cells. So this would really be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it would be 0, 1, 2, or 3. For now, let's just do 2, 5, because that's a little easier, because I don't know exactly how I want to do that multi-click thing. I didn't even do this right, did I? I actually should have done it like this. This is what I meant to do. So how do we call if a function... Can I do this? Is that going to work, or is that going to be totally broken? That seems like potentially totally broken. What'd I break? Multi-click? Oh, multi-click. I don't want multi-click. I just want multi-cells, I think. What'd I do? Okay, no, now it's working. Is it actually working? Yes. Okay, it's working. Okay, so that does work. So that's great. So what we can do, right, is 2.5. Basically, if you click the whole of the guitar, let's first just add 2.5. Strum. We need to come up with some notation that's almost like spreadsheet notation, I guess, that says like, here's a list of cells. That sounds annoying, but that's probably the right way to do this. Okay, so now I should be able to click the guitar. Oh, I meant to say 5.2, didn't I? 5.2, not 2.5. Okay, we got strum. So now we just need to figure out what's the, oh man, actually I remember this being annoying. Like the best way to trigger a sound with Node.js. I feel like I've had major problems with this before. Maybe this is newer. Does this work in Windows? I'm not sure this works in Windows. I don't know if you have mplayer installed. Node speaker, raw PCM data to your speakers. No, no, no. What a hassle. Isn't it nice? macOS just comes with a nice way to play the sounds from the command line. Windows, why do you treat me like this? Would I have these problems if I was doing all this in like the Windows, whatever it is, Linux subsystem? I just like creative code stuff. I hate doing on Windows because there's always barriers like this. It's like, I just want to play a sound. Shouldn't be that complicated, right? Not .NET framework inside Node. That's crazy. Oh, weird. You know what? Like what? Trigger VLC from Node? But that's annoying. Like, why can't I just do this thing? Just enter a command and play a sound. Seems like such a trivial thing to do, and Windows cannot do that. Like, that's just seems lame. It's just a bummer. Windows Linux subsystem might solve that problem, but you know, it's a really easy way to solve that problem is if I just we already had this browser thing going. It's pretty easy to play a sound in the browser. So let's just do the jQuery have anything? Probably not. Node can potentially drive sound, but it's really different per platform. And depending on what packages you have, like if you have like some of those that we saw seem okay, but it's like, okay, you have to get in player and have it installed and all that stuff. And that's fine. It's not that it's super hard. It's just like I'm trying to prototype something that should take 1 minute. And it's annoying that you just, I mean, I've always had problems with audio in Node.js just because there's so many different things going on across platform. But we can just add an audio element and call play on it. So we just need like make an Electron app. Yeah, I mean, so the idea of like all the stuff that I was having to do that was slightly annoying, where it's like, some of these things are kind of front-endy, some of them are kind of back-endy, and the easier answer for that is definitely an Electron app, for sure. I mean, if I want a standalone thing. To do, like, if I want to get to the point where you can manually change the grid size and assign different things to grid, I would say that Electron is probably an easy-ish answer for how I'd want to do that. But again, I want this to work in 30 seconds. Like, it was so easy to do the light click, and I just want to do a quick guitar thing. Can I download one of these samples? Just let me have it. I don't want a loop. I want one. What was that super short one? I heard a super short one. Is it this one? That one's gonna be really annoying. I know I could record it, but again, this is something that I want to prototype in like 30 seconds. Like, it should not take any amount of time. Are you kidding me? Just let me have it. Good grief. I want, like, I don't want to spend time on a thing that should just take 0 time. Probably not the browser I want to be in. If I was doing this all on a Mac, it would already be done. It would have already happened. Like, and part of that is just Windows in general, and part of it's just that I'm just not set up well for like creative code stuff on Windows. If this was on Linux, it would already be done probably. That was very long. I just want a short one. That didn't sound good. let's just go with this one. So in the meantime, like the thing that's in my mind right now is the song "I Got My Mind Set on You" by George Harrison. He didn't write it, but he did the best performance of it. Oh, I shouldn't. I don't want to get a copyright flag. Everybody watch "Got My Mind Set on You," the haunted house video version, because that's kind of what I want. I want to set up my room to be a haunted house where chat can haunt me. Maybe we just watch the video silently. It's a pretty good video. It's a great song. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. I'll just sing it. Okay, let's see. Ooh, could we find a lower resolution video? Maybe if we tried. Okay. Where am I even putting this junk? This project's getting a little messy, but that's okay for the moment. Yeah, so I think all we want is just an audio tag. Is it source? Can I do this? Probably not. Controls? Man, I can't remember. Audios. There we go. Okay. You can play a sound in a browser, piece of cake. So we then would just say that when we get... What do we want for the guitar? Let's steal this whole function again. And we need to get rid of the light stuff. That can stay. And in this case, this is where we will do something like that. Oops. I gotta name the audio, not guitar. Why is it not working here? Handle click XY. Five two. This one is not getting any data. Where are we connecting? Oh, this is just kept connecting to the local socket server. So we need to do okay, we're done with you. Get out of here. Okay, Good grief. Falling apart here. Okay, we almost have it. And then I'm going to immediately turn it off because it's going to be so annoying. So I think all we need to do is this. Does that seem right? Was I not showing the video that whole time? Oh no. Well, okay. I wasn't doing anything very important. I think I just had a silent George Harrison video up while I downloaded a WAV file. So you didn't actually miss anything if I was on the wrong input. No, but I switched it when you told me. You told me the first time I switched it. And then I think I switched back. Or maybe I didn't. Sorry, I apologize. Well, you didn't actually miss anything. Okay, so what? Oh, I switched there so I could click the guitar. So, okay, it works locally. Why doesn't it work here? The data's coming through. Oh, WSS, not HTTPS. Why didn't I get an error on that? Is this not right? What silly thing am I doing? What silly thing am I doing? This is this index page. We are connecting to what appears to be the right place. Is that not right? We are connecting. Oh, I'm not giving it a channel. Ha ha ha. It was doing the right thing. It was working the way it was supposed to. Okay, now an uncaught promise. 177. What does that mean? Uncaught in the promise. Works locally. Oh, I think it might work now. So try clicking the hole in the guitar. Okay, life is yours. Ruined my life. Click the hole in the guitar. I think it works. Play me a nice song. Very good. You're doing great. I think I have some guitar samples. Let's see. We could make it where you automatically play a little tune. So if I have, do I have Melodic on this machine? Yeah, right. Wherever you click along, that's more complicated than I want to be. You could set it up for a specific grid there, but I might just make it where it randomly plays. Let me think about what do I have on here. What on this here computer? Hmm. 2 out of 5 clicks registered. I think it's because it won't play while it's already playing. I did it pretty fast and loose, but it kind of works. You can change the light and you can click on, wait, why didn't the light change? What happened? Oh, there it goes. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if you actually are able to interrupt it by calling play when it's already playing. It probably just continues until it's finished, which maybe like makes it slightly less annoying than it would be otherwise. What's a fast way to do this? You can do this relatively quickly. Let's just throw in, delete that, grab these, do it in a very silly way. This is a ridiculous way to do this. Don't do this at home. Oops. Oh, what's the JavaScript syntax? I know, this is a gross way to do this, but it's fast. I'm sure there's obviously a better way to do this. I could have just added the, yeah, let's do that actually. This is just absurd. Let's just do, Did I lose it? Come back. An instance of this. I mean, yeah, that'd be like a Unity play one shot thing, but I don't know if I want to do that. Again, these are things I want to add throttling so that it is less annoying, not more annoying, more musical. Mozilla does some real dumb things sometimes. Firefox, I mean. I know I'm looking at me. I'm gonna remember that. Excuse me? What did I do? I think that's not very many sounds. Okay, now you get a little... What has more samples than that? Maybe Ostinato does? I don't know if I have that on this machine right now. What is the last audio thing I did with guitars? Let's see. What is that? Some University of Iowa? Yeah. Music instrument samples. No guitar. We could cheat it. We could do pizzicato on a cello. No one would fall for that. They're AIFs. I wonder if those would even play in a browser. I don't know. I want to go too much deeper in that today. But I think that would be a funny thing if I had just a setup where my room. To think about that. What are the other good ideas for being haunted? We should check something though. It's interesting that that'll play even when it's not foreground. Dev post. No. All right, we've got knocking from the attic, or you could, maybe I could change it, click on the door, turn the, yeah, but I want it to like really, well, I already have people stomping around above me, the horrible roofers, so I don't even need to fake that. Yeah, I mean, the electrical stuff is pretty funny. I could definitely set up some more smart home things. It's cooler if it's physical. I could do some small weird Arduino things. Man, the freaking roofers. Yeah, maybe I'll make something that every time. I'm not going to say that. I was about to say something unbecoming about the roofers. Let's see. I think that would be kind of funny. I don't want to just do the sound effects though, because that's pretty low hanging fruit. I want to do it where it like actually manipulates my world. I've got a couple of smart lights and a smart plug. Yeah, right. Slam the doors. Perfect. Okay, let's see. This thing, I've got 19 days. So February 26th. So like 2.5 weeks-ish. So that's fairly reasonable. We're in a pretty good place on stuff. Somewhere like, I would say maybe this last weekend is when we have to do the port over to AWS, and it's just gonna suck. So that kind of gives us 2 weeks to still just mess around and play with things. I don't know if we're gonna work on this every day, but I feel like the back end's in a pretty good place. The front end, we just need some fun front end ideas. So maybe I'm thinking like three front end kind of filters, and maybe 4. Let's say there's 4. One of them is, I should take notes on this. Some kind of like firework particle mode, because that's easy and low hanging. I kind of like the haunted room. I kind of like the video filter thing, and I kind of like the idea of the piano. Where you are kind of like, would sort of vote to have a key played. And all of these will put in sort of the democracy settings. Maybe we'll poke around a little bit with making an Electron app for some of the front end stuff. Maybe. But really, I want the, like, well, actually, some of these are going to would be way easier that way. Maybe we have like a couple of visual particle-y modes where you can like put kisses on somebody or something. Everybody can give me kisses. And that can be sort of the easy front end thing. That is like no special software or anything. You just add a URL to OBS and you can have little particle modes, whatever. So like some kind of particle playground. And then maybe 2 out of the 3 of these. And then we will try to get that done over the next 2 weeks, and then we will try to it's Backblaze time for Backblaze to attack me. Sorry. Yeah, we'll try to get, say, 3 out of these 4 modes in a pretty good place. Produce our video, all that good stuff, get everything working and beautiful and amazing, and then aim for the AWS port here. And really try not to worry too much about the robustness of the back end as part of this contest. If it wins and people care about it, then maybe we'll worry about scaling, but I'm just not going to worry much about that. At a minimum, I would kind of like to get going with Node deployed over Elastic Beanstalk and Redis on Elasticache, and we could take that in steps. And so I think that's a manageable thing. You're trying to make a what in Unity? A bee? Like a buzzing around bee? Well, rotation is always a thing. You are the bee. Okay, hello bee. Rotation is always difficult. Dealing with quaternions is always a hassle. As far as... Oh no, I should have left that open. The guitar's not working. Shoot. Actually, the sound thing could work still. The sound, the soundboard thing, we could have some kind of sounding thing. Hosted through OBS, I think, because I think you can still play browser sounds. Well, what are you gonna do? Like procedurally have that be? Bees like to sort of follow bumbling paths, right? I would say in many cases, that's probably not actually true with bees, but for a lot of flying insects, they are looking where they're going. So what I would maybe do is have some sort of direction, right? And then figure out, just get the forward vector of that direction and then pop it out a little bit and then have your rotation do a look at. So basically you would just always kind of be looking at where you're going. Might be a way to manage your rotation. Oh, you're trying to add torque? You're trying to do this with physics? I don't think I would do it with torque. Third person, you're behind the bee? Well, I would, if you just want to find rotations, then either animate those. You could procedurally animate them. You could, I mean, you're going to have to, I guess, if you want it to be moving around like that. But just to modify the rotation, like use transform.rotate. Rubber band pulling it to stay upright. Well, if you want it to kind of always try to stay upright, you can have a rotation, like come up with a quaternion, which is where you want to be, and then you can do a slurp or a lerp, I guess, between those two quaternions, and it will always sort of rotate, and you could maybe add some bounce to that. But I don't think I would do it with torque. I think I would just modify the transform.rotation. But I don't actually do a ton with like physics animation in Unity because you just don't have as much control over it, I feel like. Okay, where are we? We can click this light, change the light. We can click this guitar. I keep closing the window that lets me play the guitar. That is so stupid. Firefox, that is clearly a URL. Something about having a port and a query string is making the URL matching in Firefox not work. It's a URL, I assure you. You have my word, Firefox. I can click these nice 3 notes on the guitar now. I need to bust out String Studio or Strum. I have Strum on in Logic to do that on my laptop. I could modify these lights too. Also, I don't know what you'd click to make them happen. My room's a little boring as far as having things to click on. Just hang some stuff on the wall, I guess. What is W in the quaternion? Oh boy. I would not try to write quaternions manually. Quaternions are 4-dimensional numbers. Like, not 4 dimensions described as a number, but it's a 4-dimensional number. You can kind of think of it, often when it's used in rotation, there's sort of an axis, like XYZ describes the axis, and then W sort of describes rotation around the axis. That's not strictly true because it's not the angle there, it's like the sine of the angle. How would you do the rotation? Well, you could come up with it in Euler angles, which are just XYZ, and you can create a quaternion through Euler angles. But you also have a lot of shorthands like up, down, left, right, as vectors that you can turn into quaternions. Or, I mean, truly, like look at is a pretty, I use that quite a bit to orient looking at things. As far as remaining upright, you'd want to, I guess, figure out what your up vector is and what your world up and your local up, and figure out and like lerp between those sort of. But in general, you probably don't want to be manually adjusting the individual, however you say it, numbers of the quaternion, dimensions of the quaternion. Okay, I think I'm good for today. We got guitar sparkles over there. We can play the guitar. And we can click some lights. What sounds like a book title? Guitar sparkles? The dimension of the quaternion. Quaternion is a cool word. It's just a pretty weird concept. Just like you have numbers, right? Like regular old real numbers, and then you have imaginary numbers. Real number, the number line goes like this. Imaginary numbers go like this. When you want to describe a number that represents something in both of those, that incorporates both of those, I think that is a complex number, because a complex number is a combination of a real number and an imaginary number. A quaternion has 2 more dimensions on top of that, if I'm remembering correctly. Quaternion is an amazing word. It is a concept that is difficult to conceive of. I spent so much time last summer just watching math videos trying to understand it. I think I have kind of an understanding of it now. There's some really interesting videos to kind of visualize it. But as far as me using quaternions, you say like there's an axis of rotation and you want to rotate around that rotation. And there's like a right-hand rule. Like if the axis is pointing like this and you grab it with your right hand, that means the rotation is going to go like this. Man, the way the spheres work, there's some crazy. So if you want to get into weird math videos, which who doesn't? What is the channel? 3 blue, 1 brown. I think there's a video about quaternions here, but this channel covers all kinds of very complex maths. Can't remember. Yeah, like yes. Here's how you visualize a quaternion. So W is not the scale. It's another dimension that is perpendicular to the prior dimensions. So that's easy one for us to talk about where it's 3 dimensions, where it's like, okay, yeah, great. We have the real number. We have the imaginary number. Let's add another dimension that's perpendicular to that because we are 3-dimensional creatures. 3 is easy. And then, yeah, W is not an additional number. It's like a number that is perpendicular to those numbers. This is a pretty cool one. This visualization of quaternions is interesting. I didn't actually find it useful as far as me being able to apply quaternions, but it's a pretty cool way to like visualize what's really happening, where it's like squishing operations down from 4 dimensions and visualizing them in 3 dimensions. Let's see, where's the representation of that? Because it's pretty cool when like, yeah, these kind of transformations. Yeah, looks good. Now I wanted to see it animate. I still don't feel like I can. I'm at that stage with quaternions where I have enough of an understanding of them to cheat my way by when I need to do math with quaternions, which is better than where I was, which was basically just guessing. But I still don't feel like I'm adequately in the state of being able to very clearly explain quaternions other than this. This is all I know. Right hand rule. Probably a bunch of pictures of hands. Yep, great. Thumbs up. I'm pretty sure right hand rule applies to quaternions. If not, then I'm falling apart. I'm falling to pieces. No, it's not the dot product. It's not. This is it's another dimension. Although for what you're trying to do, you could come up probably with a way to use the dot product, because you'll have, yeah, that's part of, so if you want to, if what I was describing before where you're like, oh, this is up and that's where I want to be, and this is my current local up, and you want to understand the relationship of those two vectors, then that is what the dot product will tell you. It will give you the cosine of the value between theirs. That would be useful if you wanted to have some behavior based on how off you were, but not, I don't think it would be that useful in terms of reorienting yourself. Well, I think you can do lerp on a quaternion and be able to lerp back up though. Oh, the finger rule. Yeah, I think your hand, I think the right hand rule comes into play in various places. I'm not qualified to be giving extensive math advice. I'm confident you can figure out your B though. I don't quite understand. I would just, maybe my beginning advice, yeah, is don't do torque. Just maybe do some quaternion lerps. I mean, one thing is like, if you're just, whatever your quaternion is, like, here's the thing, is if you always want something to trend somewhere, a real easy way to do it, if you have the ability to lerp. So yeah, you can do a quaternion lerp, and that says, here's where I am, here's the rotation I am, and here's where I want to be, right? And if you can, you get a quaternion for up, and that's where you always want to be, you can just always be lerping some percentage from where you are to where you want to be. So in that case, it would be something like, off the top of my head, without being in Unity, it would be something like this, where I'm lerping from what I am, which is my weird, I'm like off angled, and then whatever my up rotation, like I need a quaternion represented, whatever my up is going to be. So you'd have to come up with that. That was like, gosh, you'd want like quaternion from, let's see. Actually, maybe you can use rotate towards. You still need a quaternion representing up, though. You can make a look rotation. I can't quite remember this one piece of this. What is the way to give me the up? From forward to up. That's a rotation that gets me there. Yeah, it's the world up, but quaternion is not going to describe that, because the quaternion is going to describe a rotation, not a fixed vector. I got to think about how to do that piece. But the idea, the general idea is that instead of lerping at a fixed amount, you just always lerp like 10%. And then if you're far away, 10% is going to be bigger and you're going to move faster. And then once you get there, you'll kind of ease in slowly. But I got to think about, let's see. I actually just can't remember this off the top of my head. I mean, actually, I guess you could kind of cheat and just have something that was pointing up and lerp to its rotation. Like, in that case, would that just be quaternion identity? That is no rotation, perfectly aligned with the world. Yeah, I think maybe in that case, this might be wrong, but that might just be the quaternion identity. So maybe something like this would work, where it's always trying to lerp towards. I'd have to test that. Otherwise, you would have to maybe come up with this in a different way. But I think actually this might be correct. Maybe this needs to be local rotation, but maybe not. But you'd always be like from to rotation. That's if you have like two, that can give you a rotation that describes what you're after from a fixed point. So this could, if you have your I'm off to the side and you know straight up, then this can give you a quaternion that describes the operation that you want, but you don't want to do that just like in one frame, right? I assume you want to sort of animate to it. So maybe there's something in that realm that you could use with this lerp, but I think you basically always want to be lerping towards quaternion identity, something like this. I'd have to test it, but this is maybe where I would start poking around. Okay, I think that is all for me today. We survived the workshop. We survived a bunch of stuff. I wish more people had come by today to click on things. Life is yours. How do I get people to come to my channel? You're a Twitch expert. What do I need here? What am I missing? I feel like I was doing better before this split to science and technology. I might be making that up. I got a light you can click. What else could you want? Breast implants. In my body or just in my room? I could hang them on the wall back there. Thank you for this. Thank you for the sage advice. Oh man, I turned off the guitar thing again. Dang it. Should I make a really simple electron out? That sounds a little annoying, but only just a little. It's not set up to do anything like that on this machine, but okay, that's fair. Hey, that's a start. Maybe that's where I start. Okay, I think we're good. We made some progress today. Thank you for hanging out, Draclin. Thank you for hanging out. Life is yours, and I will be back. I don't know, tomorrow, maybe later today. Who can possibly say? Have a lovely evening.